also played a good period. What changed things for you?
You know, I thought we had great energy right out of the gate, but I also thought they did. I mean, what a pace in the first period. You know, obviously they played last night, and we felt just keep the pace, keep elevating the pace. In the start of the second period, obviously was big, 15 or so seconds in. What an unbelievable pass by Dylan, and Peterka made it look easy, taking it out of his skates on the fly. But I believe we started with great energy, and we just kept getting better as a result. I thought all the lines were participant in that. Thompson line was really good. Tuck and Skinner pushing, and I thought the Cousins line was outstanding. Obviously producing, but the energy and effort was there.
Just to close out again, you guys have you've had some trouble in the last week or so closing out things, just to finish it. What does that mean?
Well, we stayed out of the box, and there weren't calls, which was a huge help, because that's been the real challenge. It was with Tampa, it was in Detroit, and it certainly was in Colorado. So the last 3 games have been real penalty issues, and we stayed out of that through the third period. And I think guys even talked about it in between the second and third, and right away after the game they mentioned it again on their own as we were, a group. So we needed to do that.
Do you think the group also had a more responsible approach in the third in terms of trying to continue to create offense while also not, I guess, cheating when there's not an opportunity there, and making sure they're in position to defend if there was a turnover?
Definitely. I felt the biggest thing we did in the third was we didn't exit early. Lots of times you get excited that you get possession in your defensive zone and guys are leaving early. And when you have a team that's behind, especially the way they were playing tonight, they pressured pucks hard. They didn't back off of anything. So we stayed underneath till we could exit the zone, and we had a couple breakaways and odd man rushes as a result, where it was the guy underneath. Puck moved up, still remained in our defensive zone, and came back because of their pressure. We picked it up and went on the second try. So we stayed in support tighter, better for transitions out, and that was something that we were way better tonight and consistent tonight, where we had not been, and those pucks would go right back toward our net. So yes, good pickup, Lance.
UPL in the last 40 minutes, certainly it seemed a lot more sure of things. And just how big was it the first half of the third period? You kept a 2-goal lead. He made some saves for you, so you didn't get some of that here we go again feeling of going
Yeah,
down.
he made saves, and he controlled rebounds or put rebounds where he stayed big. There was no net after the save. Even if there was a rebound chance, he was on top of it and held his ground without hesitation. Very good signs, very, very good signs, especially when there's thoughts that he didn't play well in situations previously, and that's something you have to live with at this level and manage through it. And I thought he was dialed in tonight, and his body language and performance was evidence of that.
Coach, talk about those.
Jack and JJ have been playing very well the last week or so. Tonight they seem to be finding each other instinctually. Seeing them grow together like that, what's it mean for you?
Means a lot. I mean, that's the topic of conversation in the coaches' room immediately, even in between periods, how the chemistry, the speed, the skill of those 3 players together, obviously Peterka, Cousins, and Quinn. You see it in practice lots and lots of times. A barometer for coaches is practice. And you usually see, with young players, you see them doing things in practice that may take months for them to implement in a game. They have more confidence and more freedom and less fear, anxiety in a practice. So you'll see them do things, and it's an indicator, okay, they're going to be able to do this in an NHL game at some point. Those guys, the speed from what they do in practice to what they transfer in the game it's amazing how fast it is. Like I said, sometimes it takes guys months. Sometimes it takes a full season before you see that. With these guys, it's literally day to day, because we all know Jack Quinn a month ago looked quite a bit different, and he's looked stronger and faster and quicker than he did 1 month ago. So credit to him and JJ and Cousins, as I've said many times, leading that line. We're seeing his leadership and bringing those 2 up and along as fast as that. I do give Dylan lots of credit for that.
Coach, talk about the Rasmus Dowling. Is that the type of defensive energy you want to see your team play with on a more consistent level?
Well, that hit was lined up pretty nice. I don't even think you could have got out of the way of that one if you were either playing the way Dell's lined it up. Obviously, glad to hear that the kid's okay or the player's okay. But yeah, I mean, it's a physical game, so we talk a lot about finishing hits where you can, and we don't need to run around and chase hits, but to finish hits. And very nice competitive play by Delline.
Did you have a pretty good feeling about the Cousins line after that first shift they had? It seemed like pretty much right from the jump they were going.
Yeah, I've had a good feeling with them for about 3 weeks now or 2 weeks now. They're hungry for more, and you see it. And we saw it even yesterday in practice. They did some things in practice, calling guys out that were going against them, that were just different. And so they just want the puck. They want to play. They believe in their ability, and they should. They've got the capacity to back it up. So, no, I was excited to see them go and get rewarded for it because they're putting the work in.
You had Peyton Krebs with 8 instances in the post, so it seemed in the third period they spent most of their shifts in the offensive zone. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, it seemed like Dave Krebs was a big part of that. But was that maybe one of the better periods he's had in a while?
Yeah, absolutely. He was very good, and he was a big part of it. I would say he might have been the catalyst of it with the energy, and he's looked great the last two games coming back as far as energy and compete, and he's another guy. He's a young guy, as we know, and he's probably gone through the first downer here, since we acquired him. But he's fought through and fights through it the right way. So to have him come back in the lineup, we knew all the indicators were that he was going to come back even better based on his focus and commitment off the ice and work ethic and practice, and he has. And yeah, he fit in very well, and I think helped Oki and Z, who also played very well. Thank you, guys. Have a good night, all.